What is going on, guys, and welcome to the video. So first things first, the first thing I want to address is the fact that I had a dentist appointment this morning. So I'm probably talking very funny because this whole portion of my mouth is actually numb. So I am destined to look a little bit funny for the rest of this video. As long as we got that out of the way and you understand why I'm talking with half of my face, we can move on. So today is actually an exciting day because this is going to be one of the first workouts that I'm going to show on my channel from my new program. I've kind of been teasing and hinting at this for a little while now that I have a new program coming out. It's also going to be a glute focused program. It's going to be about the same advancement level, but there are a lot of new things that I have been trying and loving, different concepts, advanced techniques that I want to implement into this program to make it even better. So I'm really excited about it. I know you guys are going to love this workout. Maybe a few things that you've never heard of before or you've never tried before. I will keep you guys posted on my new program as it gets a little bit closer to its launch. So make sure that you're signed up for my mailing list if you want to be one of the first people to hear about when the program is going to launch. There will be like a special launch price, so you want to make sure that you are getting it right at the launch if you want to get it for a discounted price. Oh, and I have to put my watch back on. So this is a Fitbit that I wear. I'm actually super behind on my steps because I had that dentist appointment this morning. So I'm gonna have to make up for it a little bit later. I might go for a walk tonight. I get a lot of questions about my typical morning walk when I don't have half my face numb. My normal morning walk is about 20 or 30 minutes. It does put in a pretty big dent in my 10,000 steps I like to do a day. 10,000 steps isn't anything magical. It's not a magical number. It's just something that I started doing during my PhD that really forced me to make sure that I was getting up and being active, because while I would be doing bench work or experiments, I wouldn't move that much. So it was just a really good reminder to get up, go for a little walk, maybe just walk around campus or something like that. So I did start doing that during my PhD. It's something that I still do today. So today's gonna be a good day aside from the fact that I can't feel half of my face. Hopefully I can drink my pre-workout, which I've already mixed, 2 scoops of high volume and 1 scoop of prolific. Make sure it doesn't spill all over my face. And then I'll see you at the gym. So I am starting out with a little bit of a warm-up on the treadmill, and I'm probably gonna walk for like 10 to 15 minutes on the incline just to get warmed up, and then I'm gonna do some dynamic stretching, and then after that we will hop into the workout. We are going to be doing a voiceover for this workout. I kind of wanted to take you through the workout, but I cannot talk, so it's gonna be way too hard for me to do that. I'm gonna jump into a voiceover. I hope you guys understand. Alrighty guys, so now that my face is fully functional, we can hop into this voiceover, which I think will be a lot better for this video because I'm going to be going over a few pretty advanced techniques that you may or may not have ever heard of before, but implementing these intensity techniques regularly in my programming has really made a difference with my training. And if you feel like you want to start adding something new to your training arsenal, then definitely give these a try. So first up, we are going to be doing an eccentric accentuated Smith machine box squat. Whew, aside from its hella long name, this one is a killer, which is why this exercise is first in the workout when you are the most fresh. And yes, exercise order does matter. So I've mentioned eccentric accentuated loading before on my channel, but if you are unfamiliar, it is exactly what it sounds like, an accentuation on the eccentric. Now, in a box squat, or any squat in general, the eccentric is the lowering phase, the squatting down part, and the concentric is the squatting up portion of the movement. So to emphasize the eccentric, you are going to slow the lowering phase to a tempo of 3 seconds. A solid 1, 2, 3 before your glutes make contact with the box or bench like I'm using here. And to take emphasis off your quads and place it on your glutes, you need to focus on sitting back, like really sitting back while lowering. Again, going down slowly, sitting back, then touch down on the bench, and then push through your heels, keeping the tension on your glutes while performing a normal tempo concentric back into an upright position. Again, 1, 2, 3, down, putting your glutes in a very stretched position, and keeping your shins upright will help with keeping the tension on your glutes and not on your quads. Then make contact with the bench, and then a normal concentric tempo back up. And because you are accentuating the load when the glutes are in a very stretched position, don't be surprised if you are more sore than usual after this leg day. This exercise will likely be a huge contributor to that, but it is very effective. After that, we are jumping into a constant tension barbell hip thrust. So what makes this variation different than a normal hip thrust is that during the entire range of motion, there will be no pausing, which essentially never allows your glutes to rest at any point during the reps or in between reps. And with this, since we're doing 20 reps, we're going a bit lighter with the weight, but this is an amazing technique to make sure you are fatiguing your glutes thoroughly. This is because there's a minimum threshold of proximity to failure, which you need to reach in order to maximize hypertrophy. And a common mistake people make when lifting, especially on the hip thrust, because let's be real, it's not the most comfortable exercise, is that they go way too conservative with the amount of weight that they use. So keeping constant tension ensures you are maximally recruiting a full spectrum of motor units, which happens the closer you get to failure, but without having to use as much weight. With constant tension and never allowing yourself to ever pause in any part of the range of motion, you essentially get the same fatigue as heavier weights, which will get you closer to that threshold of failure without the use of heavy weights. And I also wanted to mention that when I do constant tension hip thrusts, to make sure that I never lose that mind-muscle connection with my glutes, I'll often use a resistance band around my knees, and that tiny bit of abduction I do to push out with my knees to press against the band ensures my glutes are firing through the entire range of motion and prevents other muscles like my hamstrings from taking over. And I also wanted to show you how I set this up on a machine leg extension in the event that setting up a barbell at your gym is just way too difficult. This is also just as effective as long as you keep constant tension and never pause at any point in the range of motion. Next up, we have a round back 45-degree hyperextension. And the advanced technique we are going to be doing here is that we're going to be doing MyoReps. MyoReps are an intensity technique popularized by George Fitzgerald, who argues that doing MyoReps will allow for very high muscle recruitment that you may not get by doing traditional sets, leaving a few in the tank, which is how most people train. It's a great intensity technique to challenge any specific muscle group, but I especially love MyoReps with my glute training, but like I said, you can use it on any muscle group. So with each set, you will start with 10 hard reps. So the 10th rep should be almost to failure. So if you need to hold on to a weight so it's challenging enough, grab a dumbbell or a plate. Now, after your 10th hard rep, you are going to rest for 5 seconds. Then you're going to do another 3 reps. And then rest again for 5 seconds. And then finish off the set with 2 more reps for a total of 15 reps per set. And you're going to do this whole rep scheme with both sets. And hence the name of this exercise. I do want to emphasize that you need to keep your upper back rounded to make sure that you're keeping the tension on your glutes and not your lower back. When Brett Contreras did glute EMG activity on this exercise, when the upper back is rounded, it elicited for significantly higher glute EMG activation. So pay attention to your form on this one. Now, the next 3 exercises don't have any intensity techniques because you don't want to kill yourself during any training session. And considering how often I train lower body, I need to be able to recover for my next lower body session. However, even though these next few exercises are more basic, I might still have some cues for you that you've never heard of before that might help you out. So the next exercise is going to be a hamstring curl. And here I'm doing a lying variation. And I personally like lying hamstring curls a bit better than seated because I find it brings my hamstrings through a greater range of motion, which hits my hamstrings in a very stretched position, rather than a seated curl, which will emphasize the shortened portion of knee flexion. And something that I like to often mention when talking about hamstring curls is that it's a great exercise to do isolaterally. So if you have any hamstring imbalances, consider doing these one leg at a time. Now jumping back to the glutes, we are going to do good old faithful machine hip abduction. And we're going to be utilizing this exercise as the glute finisher. So we are using a relatively lighter load, but in a higher rep zone of about 25 reps, and we're going to be taking these to failure. So what makes hip abduction so special is that not only is it extremely effective at building the glutes, it primarily targets the glute medius and upper glutes, which is hard to target with a lot of conventional glute exercises. And you don't have to worry about going to failure on these because working the glute medius and upper glutes should not impede your ability to do more taxing exercises like the squat
squat or deadlift in subsequent lower body days later in the week. So fire away. Take these 2 sets to failure. And last but not least is a standing calf raise. And like most of us, we tend to neglect this part of our body, but I am a firm believer that to sculpt a complete physique, you have to train everything. And calves add nice shape and definition to your legs as a whole. So I would encourage you guys to add in calf training if you're not already. So the important cues I want to note with these are to make sure that you are completely pausing at the bottom of the range of motion and not just using momentum to bounce and raise yourself back up. If you do that, then you are basically just taking advantage of the elastic recoil of your Achilles tendon and you're not working your calves. Also, make a point at the top of the range of motion, squeezing your calves through plantar flexion. That way, you'll actually be training your calves properly, and if you need to drop the weight or even just do body weight to be able to execute these properly, check your ego and drop back the weight. Alrighty guys, well, that is the end of this workout. Alrighty guys, so I just finished up my workout. It was awesome. I really hope that you guys learned something and that you enjoyed it. I am going to go pick up my mom. Before I do that, I'm gonna have a protein bar because I just finished up my workout. And pro tip, leave your protein bar in the car if you're gonna go work out and have it after, and it's amazing. It'll be all nice and soft and melted. Before I go, I need to change out of this sweaty top. So I will see you once I am with my mama. Mommy? How are you? Mommy, say hello to my video.
Hello for Stephanie video.
We're gonna make some food.
Okay.
Mommy is the master chef.
Master chef.
Master chef of the Thai food. What are we gonna make today?
Today we're gonna make gang Kiewan.
So I'm back from taking home my mom. I ended up just hanging out with her. I started regaining feeling back in my face, so hopefully it looks a little bit more normal now that I'm talking. After we cooked, I had some of the yang, and it was absolutely delicious. And then we watched a few shows, and then I brought her home. And I'm going to try a new flavor of Enlightened. All that in a bag of chips. I think it's like their play on like sweet and salty stuff. If you wanna know what I think of this, go to my food page and check out my review. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna be that person. I'm not gonna tell you what I think of it, and I'm not gonna try it now. But that's going to conclude this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that you learned something. If you are new, please subscribe. I'd love to have you in the family. We're almost at 600K, which is crazy. I love you guys so, so much. The next video that you guys will see me, I will be with Jeff because I'm going to Toronto this weekend to see him. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.